First off, head over to the Raspberry Pi website. The link can be found in the description. Once you are there, scroll down the page until you can see Download for Windows. Once you have clicked the Download for Windows button, you should then see the file start to download. Once the file has completed downloading, open the file by selecting it. The Raspberry Pi setup screen should then appear. Click Install. Once completed, leaving the Run Raspberry Pi box ticked, click Finish. You have now successfully installed the Raspberry Pi Imager on your PC. Welcome to the next stage. For this stage, you will first need to plug in an empty microSD card or a USB SSD into your PC. Links can be found in the description. Once connected, click Choose Device, then select the type of Raspberry Pi device you own from the list. Then click Choose OS. You will then need to scroll down and select Other Specific Purpose OS. Then find and select Home Assistant and Home Automation. Then scroll down and select Home Assistant. And then once again, select Home Assistant. Now click Choose Storage, then pick your microSD card or SSD from the list. Please be careful, making sure that you have selected the correct device, then click Next. And then confirm that you agree that all the data on the USB device will be erased by clicking Yes. You should now be able to see that Home Assistant is being installed on your USB device. You have now completed the installation of Home Assistant. You can click Continue, and then safely remove your microSD card or SSD from your PC. This part of the tutorial is for setting up Wi-Fi for Home Assistant. If you will be connecting to your Raspberry Pi using an Ethernet cable, you may skip this part of the tutorial. You will first need to download the Home Assistant Wi-Fi settings file within the description. Right-click on the downloaded file and then click Extract All. Your view may be different depending on your version of Windows. Leaving the Show Extracted Files, when completed ticked, click Extract Files. A new window should then open. Click on the Home Assistant Wi-Fi Settings folder, then Config, and finally the Network folder. Then open Network Connections Notepad file. Once this has opened, update your Wi-Fi router details. These can normally be found on the back of your Wi-Fi router. Once you have completed adding your Wi-Fi details, click File, and then finally click Save. You can now close the Notepad file. We now need to copy the config file and contents. We can do this by selecting the Home Assistant Wi-Fi Settings folder as shown. Now, right-click on the config file and then click Copy. Now plug the SD card or SSD back into your PC and open the folder. We are now going to copy the config folder to the top level folder of the SD card or SSD by right-clicking on the folder and pressing Paste. You have now successfully added the Wi-Fi settings to Home Assistant. You may now remove the SD card or SSD from your PC and insert it back into your Raspberry Pi. We are now going to set up the Home Assistant interface. Insert your SD card or SSD into your Raspberry Pi, and then power up your device. Using your web browser, open the link in the description. Home Assistant will then begin to prepare your setup. This can take up to 20 minutes. Once the welcome screen appears, first click Create My Smart Home. We are now going to set up a new username and password. You will see that when you give the new user a name, you will see that it automatically copies to the username box below. You can choose to keep the same, or give it a different name if you wish. We are now going to set your home location. Within the search box, type your postcode and then click the search button. Once your location is set, click Next. Now, set whether you are happy for Home Assistant to share information anonymized. You will now see that Home Assistant has automatically added some of your devices from your network. These can be updated at a later date. You have now successfully set up Home Assistant on your Raspberry Pi. In this video, we are going to install the add-on called SSH and Terminal. SSH and Terminal is used to install the Home Assistant Community Store, also known as HACS. Once we have installed HACS, we will then be able to add the Octopus integration. First, click on your name in the bottom hand corner. Then scroll down until you find Advanced Mode and toggle the slider. Now head over to Settings. Then click on Add-ons. Now click on Add-on Store. In the search box, type SSH. You will then see two options. Select the Advanced SSH and Web Terminal version. Now click Install. SSH and Terminal will now start to install. Once installed, please select and toggle Start on Boot, Watchdog, Show in Sidebar and finally Protection Mode. You can leave Auto Update off. Now click on Configuration. We now need to apply a password. Select in between the quotes and add a new password. This can be anything you desire. Then click Save to save the password. Now click Info. You can now click Start. You have now successfully installed the SSH and Terminal add-on. To check if SSH and Terminal has installed successfully, click Terminal on the left-hand side. You now should be able to see the Welcome to the Home Assistant command line. Welcome to the next stage. In this video, we are going to be setting up a GitHub account. This will be needed for setting up the HACS integration. First off, let's head over to the GitHub website. A link can be found in the description. Once on the GitHub website, click the Sign Up button. This can be found in the top right-hand corner. Now enter your email's address. Once added, click Continue. Now let's set a secure password. When happy, click Continue. And finally, let's set up a username for your account. And then click Continue again. Then advise if you would like to receive emails about updated and announcements by typing Y for yes and N for no. Then click Continue. Now complete the puzzle on screen. This is to confirm you are not a robot. Once happy, click Submit. Then click Create Account. You will now be emailed a code. Please check your emails and enter the code on screen. Now fill in the details on screen and click Continue. Select if you are interested in using any of the on-screen features, then click Continue. Then select Continue for free. You have now successfully set up a GitHub account. Welcome to the next stage. In this video, we are going to be adding the HACS integration. To achieve this, you will need a GitHub account. If you do not already have one, please watch the previous video. First, click on the Terminal button. You will then need to copy and paste the link in the description onto the command line. To paste, you will need to right-click on the mouse and then press Paste. The shortcut, Ctrl+P, may not work correctly. When the install is completed, you will see the Remember to Restart message. Once finished, click Settings. Then click the hamburger icon in the top right-hand corner. Now click Restart Home Assistant. And once again, click Restart Home Assistant. And for the final time, click Restart. Home Assistant will now reboot. Once Home Assistant has rebooted, click on Settings. Then click on Devices and Services. Now click on Add Integrations. In the search box, type HACS. And then press the HACS button. Now tick each box to acknowledge that you accept each part. Then click Submit. Now open the link on a new tab. You can do this by right-clicking on the link, then pressing Open in New tab. You will now see that the link has opened in a new tab. We now need to add the code from Home Assistant. Going back to Home Assistant, copy the code and then add it to the GitHub page. Then click Continue. Now click Authorize HACS. You can now close the tab. Now select a room to add HACS to. Then press Finish. You have now successfully installed the HACS integration. It will be visible on the left-hand panel. Welcome to the next lesson. In this tutorial, we will install the Octopus integration into Home Assistant. First, head over and click the HACS button. Now in the search box, type Octopus. Select the Octopus Energy integration, making sure it's the one that says Unofficial Home Assistant Integration for Interacting with Octopus Energy. Then click Download. And click Download once again. The Octopus integration will begin to install. Once the screen disappears, we will need to reboot Home Assistant. We can do this by first clicking Settings. Then by clicking the Restart Required button. And then by clicking the Submit button. And finally, clicking the Finish button. Home Assistant will now reboot. Once Home Assistant has restarted, first go to Settings. Then click on Device and Services. Now click on Add Integration in the bottom right-hand corner. In the search box, type Octopus. And then select Octopus Energy. We now need to add our Octopus API key and account number. We can do this by clicking the link on screen. You will now need to log into your Octopus account. Now copy your API key. This can be done by clicking on it. Now go back to Home Assistant and paste your API key into the first box. We now need to get your account number. Go back to your Octopus account page. Click Menu, followed by My Account. Then copy your account number. Now head back to Home Assistant and paste your account number into the second box. Tick the box if you have an Octopus Home Mini. And then click Submit once completed. Now select a room. And twice again. You have now successfully added the Octopus Energy integration. You can now view your Octopus Energy details. Welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to set up an Octopus target rate, where we find the cheapest 2 hours in 30-minute slots within 24 hours. First, click Settings in the bottom left-hand corner. Then select Devices and Services. Now click on the Octopus integration. Here is where all of your target rates will be stored. Scroll to the bottom of the page and select Add Entry. Then select Target Rate. Now give your target rate a name. Now add how many hours you require the integration to find the cheapest upcoming target rates. Please note this is in blocks of 30 minutes. Now select if you want this to be a continuous straight 2 hours. or intermittent, where it will find the cheapest 30-minute blocks to make up 2 hours. Now add the time when you would like the integration to start each day. And the same for when you would like it to end. Then submit. Then finally finish. Please note the integration only shows present and past targets. For the first time will just show off. When you check back 24 hours later, you will then be able to see both off and on. Please note, as Octopus releases their new prices at 4 p.m. each day, we can only create targets that start after 4 p.m. and up to 4 p.m. the following day.